Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. This is the paid request, this time for Robert. It is for the 2008 film Step Brothers. For those interested, requesting any type of videos, whether it be a topic, tier list, review, re-review, thought streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I can. And Robert, like I said, wanted me to talk about Step Brothers from 2008, which I saw this before. I remember being kind of iffy on it. I will say watch it again. There's still stuff I'm iffy on it, but I would say overall, I probably liked it a little bit more this time. Because I do think Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, they do have chemistry with each other. Now, I do think John C. Reilly is funnier than Will in this, but they do have good chemistry. Richard Jenkins, he's a lot of fun as John C. Reilly's dad. Mary Steenburgen from Back to the Future Part 3, she plays Will Ferrell's mom. And it's directed by Adam McKay, which he did Anchorman, which I wasn't big on, but he also did Talladega Nights, which I enjoyed, as well as The Other Guys, which I thought was a nice surprise. God, it's raining like crazy, of course it is. So, pretty much the gist of it, Will Ferrell, John C. Reilly, they act like kids. They're grown up, they're like 40 years old, but they still act like they're 12 or 13 or something. John C. Reilly's dad and Will Ferrell's mom, Richard Jenkins and Mary Steenburgen, they meet at a conference, they fall in love, have sex with each other, and decide to get married. Eventually, Mary brings Will to Richard Jenkins' place, and Will and John C. Reilly, there's friction with each other, they fight with each other. Eventually, they have a common enemy, which is Will Ferrell's brother, played by Adam Scott. And when John C. Reilly punches them, they go, "Wait, that was so cool. Did we just become best friends?" Yep. They realize they have a lot more common than they don't, and then they start bonding with each other. Until eventually, because of Adam Scott, Richard Jenkins gets the idea to sell the house, get this boat, live his dream. Him and Mary don't sail the boat around the world. And then Will and John try to stop it. They realize they break up their parents' marriage. They feel bad. They try to be responsible people. Until eventually, things work out at the end. Now, Will Ferrell, he's one of those guys that I could take him or leave him. Again, the other guys I enjoyed, Talladega Nights I enjoyed. I don't mind Land of the Lost. A lot of people hate that film. I had fun with that movie, but I have no ties to the source material. Maybe that's why. And sometimes it could be aggravating, or sometimes it could be annoying. And there's parts I liked, there's parts I didn't of his performance. So I'm kind of how I feel about him in general, kind of 50-50. John C. Reilly, who I do enjoy, I liked him in Consco Island. He did good work in Talladega Nights. He's a lot of fun. I liked a lot more. His lines, his delivery. Because his delivery of certain lines felt a bit more natural. They felt a bit more easy of the flow of what he's saying things. Well, Will Ferrell felt like he was at times put on a bit more of an act to be this way. It just felt more natural flowing out of John C. Reilly's mouth. Again, some of these actions and dialogues. I don't know what it is. Now, do I like all the humor? No. They purposely screw up their job interviews, and there's a part where one of them farts. I mean, thankfully they did in front of Seth Rogen, which Seth Rogen deserves. Hell, he deserves a fart in his face for the shit he's done lately. Especially his movies like Fuck Mutant Mayhem, Fuck Santa Inc., Sausage Party was dog shit. So yeah, fart in his face, and maybe I would have laughed, but instead they don't. But they lose the job because they farted in the interview. Them sleepwalking and purposely acting all goofy, when they're sleepwalking, it's like, whatever, okay. But there are parts that I did laugh, even watch it again. Whether it be when John C. Reilly It says, "Oh, Dad, you shouldn't get married. Come on, we're guys. You know, we talk pussy. We do this, we do that." And Richard Jenkins goes, "We've never done any of that, son." "Oh, but what if you got the old bull, you got the young calf, and I get out of the shower, and she thinks old bull, young calf, and she grabs my wiener." And he's like, "Shut the fuck up." Like Richard Jenkins, like when he gets mad and angry, I liked him as an actor. I've seen him in a bunch of other stuff, other movies. He does a good job here. I can understand his frustration. Like I can't blame him for feeling the way that he does. Or when they're softly insulting each other, Will and John in bed. It's like, "Will you close your eyes or don't go over there and punch you right in the face? You curly-haired fuck." "Oh, I'm a curly-haired fuck. Well, guess what?" Like them insult each other but being so quiet to do so. I thought that was a rather funny scene. When they're arguing about the drum set and Will's like, "I don't have to swear to shit. You touch my drum set, I'm going to kill you." I could do without him. Will actually, you see a pair of balls. I'm sure it's a fet. Yes, it's a makeup effect. But still, the seeing a pair of balls rub on a drum set, I didn't need to see that. I think it being inferred could have been funnier, but I know that's what for shock value. The audacity that we see that, but it's like whatever. Kind of did the opposite to me. But I like when they're bonding and the montage of them bonding and having fun. I like that John C. Reilly has a heavy metal from 1981, the poster. They watch Above the Law with Steven Seagal and they cheer. They cheer when he breaks the arm of the bad guy at the end of the film. Probably the only time you don't see someone cheer for Steven Seagal in a movie. So, this is a rarity, but at least they did it for one of his better films. Because Above the Law is a classic. And we get to see, I mean, again, can't be too bad if you're referencing Above the Law. Well, that's not true. Halloween Ends referenced Hard Target for some reason. Halloween Ends was a piece of shit, so I take back what I said. But Will's showing him a bit of karate and showing him his sword, while John is showing him these night vision goggles. So I thought that stuff was enjoyable. And again, they do have chemistry with each other. Good chemistry. Adam Scott plays a douchebag fairly well. His wife finds out that John C. Reilly hit her husband, and she gets, I forget the actress's name, but I thought she did a good job. Like, she gets very obsessed and turned on by him. And John C. Reilly, just his reaction of not quite getting it, being a bit oblivious to it. And then he's like, "Well, I don't know what to do." And then whether that scene or the scene in the bathroom and I feel tingly. Like John C. Reilly's reactions, I just thought were hilarious during those scenes. You do see that they actually do try to be responsible later on. Granted, it's when things are too late, but you see them doing things that they're supposed to be doing. And I kind of like what they did with the Richard Jenkins character. Like, how he acted was justified. What he said was justified. But then when this shindig happens, where now John C. Reilly's catering, Will Ferrell's working for his brother, like this, I think helicopter selling helicopter business. But Adam Scott fires him because it was not his fault. This band screwed up. And Richard Jenkins like, "I see a singer, I see a drummer. Go up there and do it." "Oh, come on, man! Like we're responsible adults now. Listen, I hated you when you acted that way, but I hate even more what you guys become." And because Richard Jenkins is usually such a serious actor and stuff, it's just funny to see him get to play goofy like this. And if you don't know who Richard Jenkins is, if you look him up, he's been in a lot of stuff. Like I'm going just right here. Like, I know his face. I know he's been in a lot of stuff. He was in The Shape of Water as the buddy of the lead girl. He's been in Little Nikita I reviewed recently with River Phoenix and what about Sidney Poitier, and he played the father, River Phoenix's character. He was in Trapped in Paradise. He played an agent in that. He was in Absolute Power. He was in Me, Myself, and Irene as an agent. He was in The Core. He played the general. He was an FBI director in The Kingdom. He was in, they said, The Shape of Water. The Cabin in the Woods. He played one of the two guys watching him, and I think Bradley Whitford, the bad guy from Billy Madison. They're watching and seeing the kids in the cabin and monitoring them. He was in White House Down. He was in Bone Tomahawk. He was a senator in a big part in Consco Island, The Shape of Water, where he was actually nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. I've seen a lot of stuff. So it's him going on this tirade about, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a T-Rex, and I was told no. And I said, okay, your dad's like, okay, you gotta grow out of that. I'm like, okay, I will, but I figured one day maybe I'd go back to do it, but I forgot how to do that anymore. Well, Dad, yeah, it's fine. Like you can't be a dinosaur. No, son, don't lose your dinosaur. It's just how, I don't know, just funny to see Richard Jenkins' character have that bit of tirade. I know when I first saw it, I didn't see it coming. I didn't expect it, which is kind of, I don't know, in a weird way humanizes the character a bit. Even though his actions was justified, it was still, they humanize him a bit, and that was fun to see. Things work out at the end. They are successful. They open up a karaoke business. I know there was talks of a sequel, but you didn't need a sequel. Not every damn movie needs a sequel. And yeah, I think because the two felt comfortable with each other. They felt comfortable going back and forth with each other. So there's definitely something there with the two of them. Although I never saw Holmes and Watson, but I heard, and I've seen a trailer for it long ago, and that did look like dog shit. It kind of killed them as a team. Because you didn't really see much of that after it. Because there was a big bomb, critical misfire. Again, everyone I've heard talk, Holmes and Watson said is a piece of shit. So, I believe you. But this was a decent sized hit. I think it made, I'll look it up. I know some people, oh, okay, well, wait, will you look something up? Yes, God forbid I look something up in 10 seconds. 128 million worldwide. 100 million in the US. So, I mean, that's pretty good. It's truly hilarious, and more often it's just crude. I mean, I can understand that. I can see that point of view. Again, the whole stuff with the balls and farting in the interview. I mean, that's just not my kind of comedy. It's more just, the dialogue, interactions, and the way they say it, the cadence they say it, that just comes off funnier to me when these two interact. Like I said, my favorite bit is with them softly insulting and softly threatening each other when they're in separate beds. Like, for some reason, that was my favorite bit in the movie. Mary Steenburgen, I liked her. Seemed like the sweet mom who tries to do her best. I did some scenes, like the ones I mentioned, I didn't like, some of them could be edited out. The ending, like they scene, and then like the Adam Scott character has a change of heart. Because then he remembers him and Will Ferrell as kids bonding with each other. I thought that kind of seemed out of the blue with how the way he treated Will Ferrell for the rest of the movie and how seemingly obnoxious and douchebag case of douchebaggery he had. The fact that one song all of a sudden changed his mind when he was the reason the guy didn't see in the first place because he said got a lot of people to say he had a mangina. I don't know. It felt a bit too I don't know. I didn't buy it. I'll put it. I just didn't buy it. Who was the actress I was talking about who played Catherine Hahn as Alice Huff? I think, was that her? Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know. Was that who I'm talking about? Thinking about? I think so. I did like her. The one who played the wife. I did like her. I thought she was rather funny. Oh, she's the star of that Agatha All Along. Oh, I just get that Marvel money when you can. Oh yeah, some other recognizable people. Phil Lamar is in one bit, which he's been in a lot of stuff. Mad TV, voices Samurai Jack. When Adam Scott's trying to sell the home of Richard Jenkins and Will and John are trying to all these ways of, which were kind of funny, all these ways to steer people off, like Will's mowing with a Nazi uniform or pretend there's a dead body there. Phil Lamar is one of the people who's going to buy it, freaks out and leaves with his wife's his character, his wife leave. Ken Jeong, he's in it for a tiny bit when they're trying to seek employment. I think he's the guy who hires. Or I'm trying to think. It's when, I forget if it's that or later on when they're trying to find jobs. Sorry, I already forgot about that. Horatio Sands, which I've seen him in a few stuff. He was in Tomcats, which I reviewed not too long ago. He plays a guy singing at the shindig at the end and gets into a fight and gets fired, and Will Ferrell gets fired. Then he's got to go sing in his place eventually. So, I mean, there's a few familiar people in there. But I would say, as is, I got enough chuckles out of this that I did have a decent time watching it. I wouldn't say it's a favorite of mine. I wouldn't say it's one I would rewatch a lot. I would still put the other guys and even Talladega Nights above this, but for John C. Reilly's performance and Richard Jenkins' performance, always nice to see Mary Steenburgen there. Will has his moments too. He has his moments too, again because of chemistry with John C. Reilly. That overall, it was entertaining enough for me. It's not a favorite of mine, but I had a little bit better time watching it compared to I did back then. So, take that for what you will. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we will see you guys in the next video. Thanks once again, Robert, and talk to you later.